Good evening. Let us discuss today's current affairs. CSB Current Affairs Bulletin today. Let us start. National Sports Awards were announced. You all know that. We'll give sports awards to encourage the sports persons and to uplift the dignity of sports in India. And there will be a selection committee to recommend the names. Once we apply for the awards, selection committee will shortlist the names. And in India, the highest sports award is Khel Ratna. This year, 5 Khel Ratnas and 29 Arjuna Awards were announced. 5 Khel Ratnas and 29 Arjuna Awards were announced. Khel Ratnas were given to Rohit Sharma for cricket, Vinesh Phogat for wrestling, Manika, Manika Batra for paddler, Rani Rampal for women hockey team captain. She is a women hockey team captain, Rani Rampal. Mariyappan Thangavelu, Paralympics. Paralympics, you all know that disabled people will play that, Paralympic. And in these awards, we respect the honor and dignity of the awardees. And in sports, you will get a chance to receive the award at a very young age. You will get a chance to receive the award at a very young age. And the previous Olympic medal winner, Sushil Kumar, have said that we should maintain dignity of the awards. We are selecting too many people for the awards, thereby diluting the dignity of the award. We are selecting too many people for the awards, thereby diluting the dignity of the awards. For all of you, there is a trend in the UPSC question paper. They won't ask who got the award, but they'll ask about the fields and various awards and for whom they are mentioned and what is the criteria for various awards. All these things are very, very important. Here I wish to tell you uh, Stree Shakti Puraskars, Shanti Swaroop Bhatnagar Awards, Gandhi Peace Prize, Rajiv Gandhi Prize for International Understanding. There are various prizes in India, awards in India, which you can see regularly. You have to note it down. Particularly, there is no immediate necessity to remember the name, but you have to remember why the award will be given. What is the criteria based on which the award will be given? And it is better to remember the name of also for this year. In the same way, international awards also, like Pulitzer Prize, Pritzker Prize, Abel Prize, Nobel Prize. Generally, they don't ask who got Nobel Prize, but they'll ask why they got it. Why they got it. That is important. Kindly remember. Next important news is Kulbhushan Jadhav should be represented by an Indian lawyer, said by our Ministry of External Affairs. The MEA said that India is in touch with Pakistan through diplomatic channels and it believes that Pakistan will respect international law. As you all know, Pakistan arrested and conducted a trial on Kulbhushan Jadhav and declared that he is a spy. And India is denying that. Now the thing is, Pakistan court awarded capital punishment. India went for International Court of Justice. International Court of Justice said that Vienna Convention on Consular Relations should be respected and Kulbhushan Jadhav should be given consular access. Then Indian consulate authorities went and approached Kulbhushan Jadhav, but unfortunately Pakistan have not given a free space to Kulbhushan Jadhav to speak from his heart. Now, uh, whether Pakistan will implement the capital punishment, this is a big question. So, immediately, according to MEA, Kulbhushan Jadhav have to be represented by an Indian lawyer so that he can get some relief. He can get some relief. This is the highlight of the news today. Let's see how things will turn. Let's pray that Kulbhushan Jadhav should be safe. Next important news. Next important news. World Health Organization have warned about vaccine nationalism. WHO have warned about vaccine nationalism. What is this vaccine nationalism? You all know xenophobia, zingoism, all these words. But new word is coming up, vaccinationalism. World Health Organization is warning that Nation should not hoard or stock. They should not hoard or stock their vaccines, excluding the other nations. Nations should not say that only their citizens should use their vaccines, and the people from other countries, they should not get the benefit of the vaccines produced by them. So vaccine nationalism means first our nation, our people, and our prices should prevail. Our prices should prevail. This is called vaccinationalism. So WHO, to bring about equitable and broad access to vaccine, WHO along with the CEPI and Gavi, CEPA, you know that, Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation, World Health Organization along with CEPI and Gavi is planning to purchase COVAX facility, is planning to have a COVAX facility, means it is planning to purchase 2 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines once they are prepared. 2 billion doses of COVID 19 vaccines once they are prepared. And they are planning to distribute it to the poor countries, middle income countries, all these countries who cannot afford vaccine. As you all know, Russia is telling that it have prepared a vaccine. Israel is conducting trials, is going to conduct trials. Every country is trying for vaccine, America, most of the countries. But these countries are developed countries. If they go for vaccine nationalism, means if they give the vaccine only to their nation people, only to the nationals, or if they give vaccines only to their citizens, or if they put the price of the vaccine at an exorbitant rate, it is disastrous. It is disastrous. This is called vaccine nationalism. What is vaccinationism? The definition is also important. When a country manages to secure dosages of vaccines for its own citizens or residents and prioritizes its own domestic markets before they are made available to other countries. When a country manages to secure dosages of vaccines for its own citizens or its own residents and prioritize its own domestic markets before they are made available to the other countries. And all the countries in the world are eagerly waiting for COVID vaccine. All the countries are eagerly waiting for COVID vaccine. So this is very, very important. So next important news. Today, our Prime Minister Modi ji wrote a letter to Mahendra Singh Dhoni. It's a extensive letter. He praised that Team India got very big boost because of you. An artist, a sports person, a soldier will always expect recognition, and it is good to recognize great people who contributed to the country. And as all know, Dhoni belongs to a small town, Ranchi in Jharkhand. Dhoni has been associated with the Indian international cricket for last 15 years. He is one of the best finishers in the modern cricket. Dhoni is one of the best finishers in the modern cricket. Dhoni is the key person behind 2007 T20 World Cup, 2011 One Day World Cup, and 3 Asian Cups. He is known for his calmness, composure, emotional integrity, and he is also good in balancing professional and personal life. He is also very good in balancing professional and personal life. And uh, Dhoni was very humble and a very sportive person. He has very good leadership skills. He has very good leadership skills. Next important news today: Sarvekshan 2020 results. Swachha Sarvekshan 2020 results. So you should understand, it is the world's largest cleanliness survey. Swachha Sarvekshan 2020 results. First of all, you should know it's the world's largest cleanliness survey. Second is it is completely digitized, paperless survey. It is completely digitized and paperless survey. And the third is you all know Swachh Bharat Mission Urban, Satyagraha to Swachhagraha, from Satyagraha to Swachhagraha. And we are aiming to make India completely open defecation free. Gandhian philosophy. And it is launched in 2014 Swachh Bharat. And they wanted to complete it by 2019, Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary. Most of the targets were completed also, Swachh Bharat mission. And in the Swachh Bharat Swachh Sarvekshan 2020, do you know that who will conduct Swachh Sarvekshan? It is Quality Council of India. And the Swachh Sarvekshan awards are announced by Union Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry. Union Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry. Ministry also you should remember. Swachh Sarvekshan awards, Union Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry, and Quality Council of India is also very, very important here. And next important thing, Indore is India's cleanest city. Indore is India's cleanest city in Swachh Sarvekshan 2020. Indore is India's cleanest city, and the city has bagged this place fourth time. So from last 4 years, Indore was the first cleanest city in India in Swachh Sarvekshan. So Indore is the cleanest city with the population more than 10 lakhs. And with the population from 1 to 10 lakhs, the cleanest city is between 1 to 10 lakhs. The cleanest city is Ambikapur, Chhattisgarh. Second is Mysore. Third is New Delhi Municipal Corporation. So with the population of 1 to 10 lakhs, Ambikapur, Chhattisgarh. Ambikapur is in Chhattisgarh. Ambikapur is the first place. Mysore, Karnataka is in second place. New Delhi Municipal Corporation. With the population more than 10 lakhs, it is Indore in the first place. Surat in Gujarat in the second place. Navi Mumbai in the third place. Navi Mumbai in the third place. So this is very important. Swachha Sarvekshan Awards. Swachha Sarvekshan. These awards will be encouraging. This is very interesting and also encouraging. Next important news. Today's Indian Express editorial. Today's Indian Express editorial. India has to properly maintain its relations with its neighboring countries of Nepal and Bangladesh. With Nepal and Bangladesh. On Monday, Indian officials and Nepalese officials have discussed about boundaries and political map, particularly with respect to Lipu Lake, Limpiadura, Kalapani. Lipu Lake, Limpiadura, Kalapani, they are shown as Nepalese territories in the Nepal map. Lipu Lake, Limpiadura, Kalapani, they are shown as Nepalese territories in the map. Now Nepalese officials and Indian officials discussed about this. And in the article, the other wrote, foreign policy should have a focus on entire country, and entire country should be taken as a unit in the foreign policy, not with respect to one state or neighboring states which are attached to that neighboring nation. For example, I'll give an example here. For example, India Bangladesh relations have a major impact, and India Bangladesh relations are influenced by Bengal's government. For example, 7 years back, just before Modi ji have come into power, there was an issue called Teesta River water issue between India and Bangladesh. Manmohan Singh, as the Prime Minister at that time, went to Bangladesh and wanted to settle down, but Mamata Banerjee did not listen. So, it is not the state interest, small state interest, but nation as a whole, the national interest, the larger national interest should be considered. The larger national interest should be taken care of. In the same way, when you are dealing with India-Nepal relations, you should not think just about Bihar. You should not think of just about Bihar. Most of the times in India, foreign policies with neighboring countries are conducted depending on the states, regional situations in the country, which are adjoining areas to that big nations. So this is not right. This is not right. The engagement with our neighboring countries should not be sporadic. The engagement with our neighboring countries should be continuous, constant. They should be continuous, constant, and should not be episodic. Should not be episodic. In the same way, uh, Indian Foreign Secretary is in a 2-day visit to Bangladesh. Today, Indian Foreign Secretary is in 2-day visit to Bangladesh. Even this you need to remember. Next important news, Madhya Pradesh government yesterday, Madhya Pradesh CM announced that all government jobs in Madhya Pradesh should be reserved for the children of the state. Madhya Pradesh CM yesterday announced that all government jobs in the state, government jobs, remember, should be reserved for the children of the state. So earlier, there some states have given domicile as a requirement for the private jobs, but Madhya Pradesh went one step ahead and said all government jobs should be reserved only for the people from the state. In Indian Constitution, we have Article 16, Clause 3. Article 16, Clause 3. There won't be a birth restriction when you when you want to have employment in any place in India. Article 16, Clause 3. Remember Article 16, Clause 3 of the Indian Constitution. There won't be a domicile or place of birth restriction. But according to Article 16, Clause 4, sometimes restriction can be done. But who can impose a restriction? Who can impose restriction? Only the Parliament bylaw. Only the Parliament bylaw can impose restriction that certain government jobs for certain purposes can be reserved only for the locals. So, but here in Madhya Pradesh, in the case of Madhya Pradesh, The state assembly wanted to, now government might ask the state assembly to pass a law like this. State assembly have no right to do that. With respect to education reservations to the locals, state assembly can do that. With respect to employment reservations, state assembly have no right to do that. With respect to employment reservation to the locals, state assembly have no right to do that. Only parliament can do that. Whereas with respect to educational interest for the locals, state assembly can do that. In the same way, recently in Telangana government also there is a policy. 80% of unskilled jobs, that is private sector, 80% of unskilled jobs should be given to locals. In the same way, 60% of skilled jobs should only be given to locals. Recently, there is a policy in Telangana. 80% of unskilled jobs should be given to locals, 60% of skilled jobs should be given to locals. Even in Andhra Pradesh, recently there is a policy. 75% of job reservations in private sector should be for locals. So 75% of job reservation in private sector to be for locals. Even Haryana cabinet approved proposing to bring a ordinance reserving 75% of private jobs for locals. So Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, they all have given this type of policies only for private jobs. Whereas Madhya Pradesh went ahead, one step ahead, and started telling that now government jobs are also only for locals, But who can remove this restriction of domicile? Only parliament. Only parliament by law. State assembly cannot do that. Otherwise, it is extra constitutional. In judicial review, court will say it is unconstitutional. So these things might happen. Next important news. No need to audit PM cares. Supreme Court said that. Today's Hindu paper, first page. PM Cares Fund, that is Citizens Assistance in Emergency Relief Situation, PM Cares Fund, no audit is required. Supreme Court said that PM Cares Fund is a public charitable fund which was donated voluntarily. There is no occasion for CAG to audit such fund. There is no occasion for CAG because it do not have any budgetary support. It do not have any government expenditure. It is a voluntary contribution. So CAG have no necessity to audit PM Cares Fund. CAG should not audit. So this is the thing. So you need to understand some points. Prime Minister is the ex officio chairman of PM Cares Fund. And PM Cares Fund will be audited by private auditors, not by CAG. PM Cares Fund is a public charitable trust. PM Cares Fund is a public charitable trust. And the fund is voluntarily given. And there's a difference between National Disaster Response Fund and PM Cares Fund. There's a difference because National Disaster Response Fund will have a budgetary support, whereas PM Cares Fund do not have budgetary support. Okay, these are all the important news today. We'll meet with other important news tomorrow. Thank you.